Described as one of the most disgusting people in Hitler's circle, Hermann Fegelein was a cynical and brutal member of the Waffen-SS. He was responsible for the deaths of around 17,000 civilians following Operation Barbarossa, and even more it's estimated. He was a decorated military officer, and he was in a sense a brother-in-law of Adolf Hitler. Hitler's short-lived marriage to Eva Braun linked him to Fegelein, with the fact he was married to Gretl Brown, Eva's sister. Their wedding took place at the Berghof, and it's believed Fegelein married Braun to further his career. The marriage was huge, and Hitler hosted the reception, but within a year of the marriage, Adolf Hitler ordered the execution and death of his brother-in-law, which took place in the ruins of Berlin, which was being heavily shelled. But what is the story of the forgotten execution of Hitler's brother-in-law? And remember to support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. Hermann Fegelein started off his military career as a cavalry soldier, but then he became the head of an SS equestrian group, and he even tried to enter the Olympics. However, he was a commander of the SS Death Heads Horse Regiment, as his forces rampaged into Poland as the Second World War broke out. He was involved in a number of other operations, for example the invasion of Belgium and France, and for his involvements in the campaigns, he was awarded the Iron Cross Second Class. But following the invasion of the Soviet Union, Hermann Fegelein's regiments were involved in the systematic combing of the Pripyat swamps, and in this operation he rounded up and exterminated thousands of Jews, partisans and civilians. Himmler ordered that Fegelein should cleanse the area, and Fegelein viewed this order that uniformed soldiers should be taken prisoner, but those out of uniform should be executed immediately, and his killing squads were responsible for around 17,000 executions. The number is debated to have been more, but he was a man who was hungry and desperate for promotion and advancement in Hitler and the SS leadership's eyes. His soldiers continued to destroy Soviet villages and killed thousands more, but then he was assigned to become Hitler's chief liaison officer and representative of the SS inside of Hitler's headquarters. This made Fegelein Himmler's mouthpiece and representative inside Hitler's numerous offices and houses. He was there when Hitler's assassination attempt on the 20th of July 1944 failed, and then Fegelein had photographs of those hanged for this treason taken, and he would regularly show them off. But his marriage to Gretel Brown, the sister of Eva Braun, occurred on the 3rd of June 1944. This was a huge celebration, but to Fegelein it's believed he wasn't too really affectionate to Gretel, but married her in a ploy to gain more influence for himself. Fegelein was a flirt and a womanizer, and he was a man who charmed many other women, including Eva Braun, Hitler's future wife. He would dance with her at times, and was known for also having many affairs, cheating on his wife. But Fegelein also had a personal friendship with Hitler's private secretary Martin Bormann, another man who was seen as a key manipulator and a power player inside of the inner circle. The pair would drink heavily and long talk into the night, but as sharp as his rise was, Fegelein would fly too close to the sun as the Second World War was turning against the Germans. Around 1945, the German military was on the verge of collapse. Hitler was still in control, but he had secured himself inside of his underground bunker, the Fuhrerbunker, in Berlin. It was clear that the Battle of Berlin would be the final one involving the Nazis, and the city, as April 1945 came, fell under heavy artillery bombardment, and on the 21st of April the Red Army tanks reached Berlin, and within a week the city was isolated and cut off from the rest of Germany. But Fegelein could not be found. He should have been inside the Fuhrerbunker as Himmler's representative, but he had decided that he did not want to be in the bunker and take his own life. He wanted to make a break from it. He was found inside of his Berlin apartment and was planning to flee Berlin for Switzerland or Sweden. He had German and foreign cash on him and some of his wife's jewellery, as well as the damning plans Himmler had to try and make peace with the Allies. He was arrested drunk and was taken to Hitler's bunker and was imprisoned in a cell. Hitler was furious that Himmler, the head of the SS, tried to make peace without his permission, and because of this he ordered that Fegelein, Himmler's representative, should be court-martialed as he thought he was in on it. Fegelein was stripped of all his rank, and despite his wife being pregnant, he was ordered to be executed. It was said that on the 28th of April 1945, Fegelein was taken out of the bunker to the garden of the Reich Chancellery, and then he was shot dead and executed like a dog. It was claimed Eva Braun tried to spare his life and pleaded with Hitler not to execute him, but he was simply dragged out of the bunker, told to kneel down, and was then shot in the head. He was shot by a member of the SD, and it's clear that Hitler had no sense of loyalty to his brother-in-law. Shortly after his execution, the dictator of Nazi Germany would marry Eva Braun in a small yet depressing ceremony in the bunker. Hermann Fegelein was a horrific Nazi war criminal who after the war would have almost certainly been executed if he had survived the conflict. He had a number of options inside of the Fuhrerbunker, either take his own life like Hitler and his sister-in-law would, or attempt a breakout which was very risky, or attempt to flee the city earlier before it was too late. He tried to take this final option, but ultimately what condemned him to death was his boss Himmler's treason and actions as to try and make peace with the Allies. Fegelein was a brother-in-law of Adolf Hitler, who was executed on the orders of the dictator, who shortly after took his own life. His daughter that was born a week after his death was named after her aunt, Eva being Eva Fegelein, named after Eva Braun. His execution was one of the forgotten deaths of the Fuhrerbunker in the final days of the Battle of Berlin. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please make sure to subscribe, and once again, thank you so much for watching.